Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Stream of Thought, number 27. And today, we end up talking about my bicycle and the fact that it's gone to shit, and I don't really know how to fix it, and it's very frustrating.
But you're trying hard.
It's the effort, right?
He's trying hard.
I get the A for effort. And then we transition into why Victor has abandoned his podcasting responsibilities.
I know. It's just it's on hold. It's on hold. I have some other things going on, but you learn what those other things are.
Victor has fallen into the bad habit of stopping listening to podcasts and starting to listen to music once again.
No.
Anyway,
okay, there's an explanation for all of that.
There's always an explanation. And then we have a delightful interruption that hopefully Victor will.
We'll include a few of that. Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't understand a word of what you're saying. So
We'll definitely keep some of that.
That was so awesome, by the way. It was really cool. And then we talked a little bit. Victor had no idea about the Equifax hack.
It wasn't shocking. On Jerry News on Instagram. It was never brought to my attention.
It wasn't on Fuck
That's
Curly?
why I didn't.
Yeah.
On
right.
what?
Fuck Curly?
Fuck Curly, no. It's Jerry News. All right. I didn't know about it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it's your own credit report that's the one that has to apologize to. Anyway, and then we kind of throw in some conversations about...
throw in like some random things here and there, but we end it on a college story.
Of course. Always with
We didn't intentionally go there. It just kind of, this is the flow. Yes, it just evolved, which is pretty fun. So, episode number 27, Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy. So
wait, do you have drywall repairs?
Yeah, but that's not exciting right now.
What's
exciting is the bicycle story.
Well, it's not really a story.
Well,
it's
whatever.
Just,
it was a story when you were telling me, and then you were like, "Oh, I'll save it." Okay, so what happens is this. So we see Sven, who is from where I don't know what country he was from, but then I saw him bicycling away, and then that triggered you to mention about how your bicycle had
was his name Sven?
No, but he sounded like his name was Sven.
His name could have totally been Sven.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Just the people you meet, man.
Totally European.
It's all about the conversations. Anyway, yeah. Well, I discovered that today I went into the shed and found out that my tire was flat, which is a new thing. My tire hasn't been flat since it was flat the last time, which was about a year.
When was the last time you rode your bike?
Oh gosh, probably it had been over a week and a half, maybe, something like that.
Okay.
So I mean, but that's an average interval, I'd say. I could ride it anywhere between daily and once every other week.
Got it.
So there was a hole maybe a year ago, and I thought I took care of that hole. I'm like, okay, cool. It's not leaking. For a year, it was fine. I mean, maybe slow pressure release, whatever. Go in, it's flat. And I end up having to... I'm just like, son of a... Because... What?
I was about to say, so you knew, I guess, the reason I asked that when was the last time you rode it, so you knew right away it was flat because you had rode it so recently.
Because it was flat.
No, what I mean is, you knew it was a hole, not it was just air that naturally found its way out of the tire. Like my bicycle, I have to, any bicycle, or tires for that matter, they don't necessarily have holes in them, but naturally you need to fill it up with air eventually.
Well, I guess my initial reaction...
Because it was flat. Duh, I knew that.
My initial reaction was hoping that maybe because I hadn't ridden it for that long, that something had happened, that something had gotten loose, but I had that sinking suspicion that, no. A week and a half would not be enough for it to be totally squished.
Maybe it was tampered with.
I was like, okay. And then I have to...
Because that is a strong possibility.
Listen, I did not rule that out as I was taking apart my bike, because I'm like, this is now got to be this whole effing process, because finding a leak in tire in a tube is one of the most annoying things that I've had to do when it comes to...
How did you do it? How did you find it?
General shit in my life. Huh?
How did you find the holes?
So, well... Here's the thing. Normally, what should happen is that the hole is small enough. It's just like a little pinprick or what, like maybe you ride over a nail or something like that. So it's just a very tiny pinprick. You can't see it, even if the tire is inflated to its fullest. You can't even hear it. It's so minimal that it's just a little like
got it
going out. So what you do is you put it underwater in a tube or something like that.
I was hoping you'd say that.
And see where the bubbles end up rising out. So you identify the hole, deflate it, clean it off, put some rubber cement on it. You have a little patch, little rubber patch that you end up putting over it, and it's taken care of. And you end up putting it back. So I deflate it, and I'm like, oh, great. Now I have to figure out where it's coming from. Do I have to get a bucket of water? I'm like, okay, this could be bad.
You know what? Another way that's really good is instead of like having, because putting that loop or you take it off the wheel, the
yes, the spoke,
right. So that could be like weird, but if you also have just a spray bottle, soap and water mixed together, it'll make a bubble on it, so you don't have to like awkwardly put it into a bucket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's digressing.
Yeah.
So continue.
So, but I'm thinking, crap. This is my tire's flat. It's not even a little decompressed. I mean, last puncture that I had, it never got down to that low ever. So I'm like,
I would just love it if you walked up to your bicycle and there was like a screwdriver just jammed in
there. Well, that's basically what it turned out to be, because then I tried pumping it up and the air instantly goes out, which means there is a hole in there. Yeah. There is an actual hole in there. So I'm like, crap. And so all I have to do then is turn the pump off for a second, and I hear tss. So then I patch it up. And I'm like, okay, I fixed it. All right, get it back onto the bike, or get it back into the tire, onto the spoke. And you were saying
you had to take like the chain, like you had all these different gears, and it was just a giant pain in the butt.
Yeah, so then I end up sliding it all back into place, getting it all set into place. And I'm like, all right, cool. Inflate it. Instantly deflates again. And I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I know it's glued. I know it's glued in that hole. Maybe it came loose or something like that, so I try to like jimmy it in and see. Nope. It's in place, which means there's another hole somewhere. Yeah. So I got to do the whole thing over again, which is a whole 20-25 minute ordeal. By the time I end up getting it off
this reminds me of when This reminds me of when you had the 75-pound door, shaving it, going back up the steps.
Oh yeah, taking the door up and down.
Going back up and
this steps. Was exactly like that, and this was frustrating just because you're dealing with oil on chains and shit.
You get
like
your fingernails all dirty and shit.
My hands are still dirty. I've been washing my hands nonstop ever since then. So yeah, end up finding another hole, and then it turns out that when I take it off from the first time, it ends up screwing up the other patch, which means now I have to deal with two holes, and unfortunately, because the glue wasn't entirely set, ended up yanking it, so now we don't just have
a third repair.
We've got two holes and a third repair that I've got to deal with. So currently I don't know the status of my bike tire. I basically started over. I cleaned everything out, reapplied the glue, reapplied the patch, followed the instructions as close to possible now that I know where those holes are, and I'm really, really hoping.
You know what you should do? You know what would be really fun? If you just went all out and patched the entire thing.
I kind of did that for the second one. There was this giant patch that was maybe
the whole.
I know. What a tube? A tube over a tube?
Yeah. No, do the whole double tube. Yeah, just patch up the entire tube. Yeah,
make it the.
Why don't you can just use duct tape, right?
Yeah,
just do that. Is that what you don't have to deal with glue and shit? And
you'd have to make sure it was super airtight, though.
I mean, it's duct tape.
I don't know if that would work because when the tube inflates.
Oh, you're right.
It changes size in the tire.
You're right.
So duct tape kind of.
Well, just use the patches then. Just patch up the entire thing.
I only have a handful of patches.
Buy more. Just go all out. Just go all out.
Or just buy a new tube.
Yeah, but that's not a fun story.
Anyway, that's
So that's the current.
Current status of my bike,
bicycle,
because that's my primary mode of transportation.
Yeah,
and I do enjoy taking a bike. So.
What was the other thing that you were going to mention? That you were going to mention? There was the bicycle, and there was something else that you were about to talk about. I was like, nope, save it for the podcast.
I don't remember.
It was something else you had to get off your chest. Some other type of. Oh, it was work. what is this, week number 2? Like, no...
No, I didn't really have anything to say about that.
So. Cool. Well, I don't really know what I have anything. I don't really have...
I totally have, because I actually wanted to talk about this, because I sort of ended the conversation in the car over, why have you abandoned podcasts? I'm so disappointed.
I haven't abandoned podcasts. I think what happened
You totally have abandoned podcasts in favor of music. You prefer to listen to music over listening to people enlightening you.
This is why. Because fall is around the corner, and I'm in the middle of...
pumpkin spice lattes.
I'm in the middle of selecting my tracks for my fall
mixtape.
Yeah, I make 4 every year. All right, I make 4 every year, and it's almost the a couple highlights of the season where I put together my favorite songs. Boom, this is summer 2017. Boom, this is fall 2017. This is spring, 2018. I usually don't make one for winter because it's really weird, because it's like, okay, December's in 2016, January's in 2017. I can't title it winter. Winter.
So you do this 4 times a year?
No,
every
I do
year.
About 3 times.
3 or 4 times a year, every year.
Yeah,
you've always done this every year.
I've done this about every season since 2003. I mean, not 2003. Holy shit. 2013. 2013.
Oh, okay. Because like 2003. Holy.
Yeah.
Crap.
No, that'd be wild, man. That'd be crazy.
Doing it on your giant cassette tape.
I do have
recorder.
CDs still from high school, from like 2000. I have some CDs that are like over 10 years old.
The old mixtapes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why. And then what happens is, for example, like I have a collection.
That is so
right
funny,
now.
dude.
I have like probably 8 or 9, and all of these collections. It's a whole span of different genres. It's not just one genre. So like,
yeah, that makes sense.
What happens right now is that that my dilemma is, okay, I have about 7 or 8 rap / hip hop songs. Now, am I going to make an entirely separate hip hop mixtape, or am I going to pluck a few of those and put it into my fall 2017? And I sometimes, I'm starting to now, the ones that are for the seasons, it'll be the, whatever, say fall 2017, and I'll also have a title for it. Ones that I make that aren't exactly directed towards like, this is the season, that just kind of happens, I sometimes have a title
like winter, then winter season, you would have holiday music, like Christmas music and stuff like that?
No, hell no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't...
I get enough of that. I get enough of that the week before Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. You work in retail.
Yeah,
so.
I don't do that. And on the radio and shit, I don't deal with any of that. Sometimes even before... I think last year for the first time I heard Christmas music before Halloween.
Oh, my... Yeah, no, it was super early. But... Okay, so, but it's not seasonal. The music isn't necessarily seasonal. Summer, you won't do like tilt towards like salsa music or something.
Absolutely
like that.
Not. No.
Okay.
But
that's a very unique hobby, I have to say.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone who has done that. Does that take a lot of time?
You don't know anyone who has...
I mean, is that why you're listening to music all the time? Is like you're trying to pick out the best songs for that particular season?
I'm fishing for songs. I'm fishing for songs that are currently out, or songs that randomly come up on the Oldies station that I am unaware of or have not heard in a very, very, very long time.
Really? So
yeah.
you're just cruising. You're cruising through the channels. Like,
yeah.
Wow, that is.
I'm standing by. You know.
You know. What that's called, vocab word of the day, eclectic. Eclectic. That is very eclectic. When you take a diverse array of interests and you're able to be like, I like them all.
Yeah.
That means you are eclectic.
Like,
be like oldies, rap, you know, that's just...
I was listening to some Cypress Hill this morning.
That's very admirable.
I was listening to some Cypress Hill this morning, and then again on the car ride over here. And I was like, oh man, like I'm not the biggest fan of that genre of music. I like it sometimes. I was like, oh, there's a couple songs in here that I've never heard before, because I only know that one song, you know, Insane to the Membrane.
Oh my God.
Insane to the
my God.
You know?
Yeah.
But what's great is on like Spotify, you know, when that song's done, it plays other super popular songs of theirs based on how many listens that those tracks get. So yeah, I just try and listen to completely brand new music that I've never heard of, whether it's from an artist I don't know or not, and I just try and put little things together that I really, really like. And then the coolest thing is, you know, that's the gift that keeps on giving, bro. So what happens is then this. I will pop in a disc, you know, 3 years later, and I'm like, oh, I can tell you exactly what I was doing during this, you know, 2 or 3 month time span, and what I was thinking and all these different things. So it's almost like you go back in time.
You know, dude, I was thinking that's close to a PhD level thesis artwork project right there.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive, because you combine the historical aspect to it, where you can recall certain events that were transpiring around
I can tell you
like
why,
what was happening, like when you selected that song or something like that.
I can tell you exactly, most likely, how it is that I first listened to that song and why I put it on there and what I was doing or thinking when that happened, or that, you know, week or month that I was into that song. I can tell you what was going on in my life, what was going on with my thoughts, what was going on with kind of, yeah. It's really fun.
That's kind of trippy, actually.
It's really fun.
Whoa. And the fact that you've been doing it for 4 years now.
Yeah,
you've got to have
going
a dozen back, or something.
If we go, I definitely have spring 2013, summer 2013. I do have a fall. Actually, I have a fall. I have September 2013, and I have a fall 2013. So I have one that's only from the month of September 2013, and then. But I try not to let that happen.
Are the numbers
increasing? No, because come 2014, I have like a half winter. I have like 7 songs I know of, and then again 2014 spring, summer, a second summer, because that summer was when I went to Brazil. So I have like a World Cup with like half of it.
Did you have the World Cup song on there?
Half of it is.
Come
songs,
on, Victor.
Half of it is songs that were from the World Cup's official soundtrack, and then the other half are songs that were just kind of I listened to at that time. And then I made another summer 2014 in August, which was like going back to like the array of songs that I like, because the initial one was just the FIFA World Cup. And then 2015 spring. 2015 I have a spring 2015 that I made in April, and then I have a separate one that's just called 27. Because I made that around the time that I had my 27th birthday in the middle of May.
Yeah.
So I had like, all of a sudden there was a huge rush of songs that just like, oh, I like this, and this. So that's separate, you know?
This week on Chronology of Victor's Life.
Yeah, and then there's summer, there's fall.
Okay, yeah, we get it. We get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll lay them out for you.
No, no.
When we next time or we get together, I have a whole catalog.
Oh man, we could just teleport through time
and
experience Victor's life. Wow, so how many songs would you say that you have altogether over the course of the past years?
I am uncertain as to how many tracks. I can tell you that I attempt to optimize every compact disc at 120 minutes or 1 hour and 20 minutes of play. So this is what I even do. This is what I also do. So I'll configure songs a certain way.
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes there's on songs or tracks, there's like 5 to 10
extra,
seconds of just like dead space.
Yep.
So I'll cut that out. I'll use GarageBand to cut it out, because when you do it in iTunes, when you say this song's 4 minutes and 10 seconds long, and in iTunes you just adjust it so it's 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
The CD burner still reads it as 4 minutes and 10 seconds,
yes,
even though only 4 minutes play. So I edit it in GarageBand, and what I do is I'll play around with certain songs. And so, let's say I'm down to, I have about, 8 minutes of space left to fill. What combination of songs can I maximize at 1 hour and 20 minutes but also reach about 19 or 20 tracks?
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have typically about 20 tracks at, a minute 19 or an hour 19 than have 16 tracks at an hour 20, you know, so I play around with that too. And sometimes I'll be like, I really like this song, I'm going to throw it to the side, I'm going to probably save it for next season, you know, and I won't listen to it at all.
So how many weeks does this process take up in your listening availability?
Well,
you don't need to be specific. Just give me a general sense.
It's an ongoing process. For example,
it's an ongoing process.
Yeah,
you are so not helpful. I'm just trying for a general sense of like. So you've stopped listening. The reason why I asked, so you've stopped listening to podcasts, and I'm just wondering for how long. That's all I wanted to know. How long till you get back to the world of talk radio? Online.
I don't know.
Not talk
I mean,
radio.
I listen to ours, but it's just this is just the current
so
wave.
Your preference.
This is the current wave I'm riding.
It's not just a. Oh, okay, so it's a wave that you're riding. I feel as though podcasts was one of those like fun excursions that you have.
Yeah.
That it was a fun experience while it lasted.
I'll come back to it.
I'm sure you will.
I'll come back to it before
but
the end of the year.
You're not incorporating that as like.
But get this too, I was hardcore podcasting.
You were. I
was going
shocked.
Real hard.
So you kind of burned out. You crashed and burned, man.
I mean, I got probably. I can't even tell you how many hours of The Nerdist I listened to in such a short time span.
When you told me,
I mean, like 100 hours in probably, for sure, less than 1 month.
Holy cow!
Absolutely less than 1 month. I mean, I would listen to Nerdist sometimes 6 hours a day. You know, if I opened it at Aldi in the morning, that's 3 hours that I have of listening to a podcast. I'd listen to 30 minutes on my break. I'd listen to another hour and a half when I was at the gym. Mm-hmm. I would listen to it in my car.
Oh, wow. So you went all in.
There
was your life was podcast.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I didn't realize that. You kind of went.
So there's the music thing.
I would have cautioned you, man.
There's the music thing was a huge thing, but also the other side of the coin, I'm kind of burned out.
I kind of think about when a teenager learns to masturbate for the first time,
oh my God.
And he has that experience of 2 weeks in his room, and he's like, walks out, is like, I'm done.
I'm done.
And that's you. That's you with podcasts. It was really fun and enjoyable for that short period of time, but you kind of played yourself
burned out. Yeah,
you burned out.
Took the adventure into a stall, and now it's kind of coming down.
Yes.
But
oh man. So did you have anything? I feel as though I've been dominating topics.
No. I mean, I got my music thing out. So our store closed for remodeling. So
Aldi?
Yeah, so now I go back and forth between the store in Naperville and
Wheaton,
yeah, which is awesome because I get paid for mileage going to both stores.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
that's great.
It's awesome. So that'll be cool. And then what's cool too is like I loved all the people at my store, like the coworkers, like they're all great. But then it's really cool this like getting to know on a regular basis these other people in another store. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I found out there's this other woman who likes to go around and scare people. Like that's what I do at my store. And so I walked in today because I had to buy groceries, and I went up behind. I waited for her to put a bottle of sparkling lemonade down before I went up behind her and I got her.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that you could find.
And the one in Naperville is super slow and chill, because no, it's not as busy.
So how long do you think you're going to be displaced?
Be like 5 or 6 weeks.
Okay,
this is my first week.
Okay.
So it'll be 5 or 6 weeks, and then going back to Glen Ellen.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where you discover like a deep dark secret a couple of weeks in, and you're like, "Get me the hell out of this store."
Oh no, probably not.
No, probably not. You would never. I would never ask you to disparage your co-workers over the microphone.
But we did. On Sunday, I worked from like 4 to 1 in the morning because we had to like move shit all around in our store and like take it off the shelves and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I like forgot to clock in. I told my district manager at the end of the night, it's like, hey, this whatever. And she made a big fucking deal. She's like, Victor, like, are you kidding me? Like, don't give me that look. Like, this is a huge ordeal. It takes 5 seconds to do in the computer. Like, do not even give me that. That was pretty annoying.
Yeah.
And the other DM, I don't know, he's probably right out of college, but he's just such a douchebag. Like, I don't like him at all. I've had very minimal interaction with him, but I've, like, observed his behavior and kind of just, like, how he walks and how he carries himself. I'm just like, you're a fucking idiot. You're so stupid.
Yeah.
Stop being so dumb.
Stop being so dumb.
Yeah.
Stop looking so dumb.
Yeah.
Really, is what it comes down to. Speaking of looking dumb, so I don't know if this conversation is going to go anywhere, but I'm going to throw it out anyway because it was something that piqued my interest yesterday, actually. I was having a conversation with one of my more conservative-minded friends, and whenever politics comes up, I've never brought up politics. I will respond if people bring up politics, but I will never myself bring up politics. I'm always interested to hear what people have to say, though.
Right.
When it comes to their opinions. So he brings up we're talking about sports, and he brings up that he will not watch the NFL anymore because Colin Kaepernick started everyone kneeling, and he's infuriated that they would show such disrespect and that the NFL would allow them to show such disrespect to America without, any sort of penalties or fines or anything like that. And so until they do that, he won't watch football.
His loss. Tell him to get over it.
Yeah, but okay, and then that transitioned as well because another thing that he's brought up as well, and he also actually brought up in this conversation, was in the same vein. God, it was, yeah. And this was just like a 10-minute car ride. But he said that the country is going to hell because they're taking down the Confederate statues all around the country, and that they're erasing American history by doing that, and that they shouldn't get rid of those statues because they mean something to the cultural history of many Americans.
I mean, we had this conversation, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, kind of. A little bit. But it's like, okay, and so I think the point of this was that, well, I don't know, in my mind, those are indefensible positions. I could not myself, I couldn't in no way envision myself, like, finding a way to rationally agree with his side based off of the facts. Like, the facts do not side up with his position. However, in his argument, he uses anecdotal examples that fit his argument and say that those anecdotal examples, the singular examples that he's heard in the news or whatever supporting his positions, are representative of half of the argument, when in fact all they are is one or two examples that exist, that have just been highlighted. That's all that exists. But it's being portrayed as having equal representation and equal, like, whatever to... Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
So, for example, with Colin Kaepernick, he's able to point out all of the NFL players, all 4 of them, or whatever, that kneel during the NFL, because that's what the news focuses on. That's what, like, Fox News covers or whatever. Totally ignoring the fact of why they're kneeling. Like, he doesn't care why they're kneeling, just the fact that they're kneeling, and they've been portrayed as disrespecting the country, and so their reason, it doesn't matter what the reason is, they're disrespecting the country, and so what they're doing as a whole is wrong, and it doesn't matter what their reasons are, because he's been told by the news it's a sign of disrespect for the country, which is all that matters.
I just lost because you said because he's been told by the news. Is this who I think it is?
No.
Okay. He's been told by the news.
You haven't met
Fox News. Is that where he gets any and all information?
Yeah, that's his primary source of information.
Man.
But I think that's pretty representative, though, of a lot of people's arguments. Though it's not. I have plenty of conversations with individuals who just use conservative media as their source of information. And those are the type of arguments that, like, it's what?
No.
It's kind of like an alternative reality.
Yes.
And I know that I've mentioned that before, but Yeah, it's extraordinarily frustrating to try and engage people who have been so conditioned to respond a certain way. Like it's all about what the other side is doing wrong, like the injustice that the other side is committing, and that's what you focus on. Like things that get you angry, you're able to remember easier.
Yes.
Stuff like that. And so, when he's saying this sort of stuff, he says he's not a racist, right?
Right.
But then he'll say things and stuff like that, and he says it's never done out of malice or hatred towards him because of minorities because they're minorities. Like, he sees them as just as human as that. Words are words. Like, what does it matter if I use offensive language towards them? They're just words, kind of thing. And that's just the attitude that it's all about. Am I in the right and you're in the wrong?
I mean, he does. So in my opinion, he's right and he's wrong. I mean, words are just words. It depends on how you choose to use them.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of wanted to bring that to you.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Kind of a words
let me ask you this,
guy.
Man. What does maldito? What does that mean to you?
Nothing.
It doesn't mean anything to you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It means nothing to you.
Correct.
Right? So
yeah.
If I say maldito and I throw that word around a few times, it doesn't register. It's just sound. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. What does it mean?
But in Spanish, if you throw that word around to like a stranger, like they're gonna be pretty pissed off. So the word itself has no meaning. It's just air moving through our teeth and our lip. It's
exactly.
nothing. It's nothing.
Yes.
The words are a way for you to verbalize an idea or a thought. That's all it is. It's just this capsule.
Yes.
It's how you choose to use that word that carries, positive or negative ramifications, I guess you can say.
Exactly. Intent matters.
Yes.
The problem is that we've been conditioned to just be ignorant, to be blind.
But I was going to say, you can't exactly just throw words around.
I think. Oh.
Dulce. ¿Qué tal? Estamos grabando ahora.
¿Oh, sí?
Yeah.
How's it going?
¿Y yo para qué? Porque
Yeah.
buena para modelar.
Sí. Tenemos como 20 minutos más.
Ok.
¿Vas a usar la aspiradora? Aspiradora.
Si necesitan trabajar, nada más saco basura, limpio cocina y me regreso.
Perfecto.
¿Sí?
Sí.
Es muy callado.
Yeah, sí, es tímido.
Sí, pero sí entiende español, ¿verdad?
No.
¿No? Enséñale.
No?
Enséñale español.
No, él habla francés.
Oh, francés.
Oui,
Un poco francés.
Dice, oui, ok.
Oui.
Ok, mi hija también habla poquito en francés.
What?
¿Ya?
Really?
Yeah.
¿En serio?
Y poquito Chinese, poquito.
Mandarin?
¿Ya?
Wow.
Ahí así que sí sabe entender también con acá.
Wow.
Bueno, te dejo porque hay que trabajar entonces y...
Okay.
No te preocupes.
All right, sounds good.
Regreso a aspirar esta, nada más saco basura, sí.
Okay.
¿Sí? Ahora pues.
Gracias.
Nos vemos. All right.
What were we just talking about?
That was delightful. Can I just say that?
Yeah.
That was wonderfully delightful.
I'm trying to remember
Are
what
we
we
going
were...
to keep that in?
Maybe some of it. Oh, so guess what happened to me the other day?
What happened?
So I got paid $500 for doing nothing.
What?
So a long time ago, like last year or the year before, I can't remember, I had signed up to do Uber, and I did it. I was telling you, I did Uber very minimally for like 20 hours, and that was about it. But when you sign up for Uber, there's a spot that says like, hey, enter your friends' telephone numbers, and we'll send them a text message, and if they drive for Uber, we'll send you, you get a like a referral bonus type thing. And I went through my whole phone, bro. I went through almost everybody on my phone. It was probably like 150, 200 names. I mean,
Seriously.
Dude, I went through everybody. I didn't even I had no shame, right?
Wow.
I can't remember when exactly I get an email from them. Hey, we're going to pay you $750. It's like, what? This person signed up for Uber, and if they take 20 trips, or if they meet this criteria, we're going to give you $750. Got paid $750. All right.
Wow.
I get a text like last week saying like, "Hey, this person signed up for Uber. You might be entitled to $500. If they meet this criteria, we'll pay you $500." So I don't know if they changed it from $750 to $500 or what the case is. Who cares? I don't care. So today I got a text message from them saying, "Hey, we credited your bank account $500." I get a text message from my bank. "Hey, $500 has been entered into your bank account. Look online." Boom, we got $500 in my bank account.
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe that?
Incredible.
I mean, and that took a lot of time to enter every individual phone number.
Yeah.
But I got paid over $1,200 for spending, it's probably maybe 45 minutes or an hour probably going through. And what I did was I went through each name, different people that I thought, and then I went back over people that I skipped because I was like, nah, no shame. I'm just going to type in their name anyway.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, it's stuff like that I feel like I want to take advantage of it, but I feel like those instances are just so hard to find because that's insane. I feel like if everyone knew about that,
yeah.
I mean, there's no way that everyone wouldn't be registered for Uber right now. That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
$1,200.
Yeah.
What?
And I don't know what happens because I don't know if they use my code because, I mean, this was a long time ago. So I think what happens is maybe when they sign up, you have to enter your phone number. And when they get that telephone number, this telephone number had a text message from this person who was with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because this was so long ago, it's not like these people are hanging on to this text message or this code number that they got or a year or two ago. And then like, oh yeah, I remember that one time a year or two ago when Victor texted me and I got this code number. Let me just bring that out and enter it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they just enter the phone number, and then that phone number gets recognized by Uber. Recognized by Uber as a telephone number that was sent a text message by me at one point or something.
Wow, I feel like
that.
People listening to this right now, if anyone had listened to this, I feel like that's an awesome.
Yeah.
People don't realize just enter in all the phone numbers.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You do it.
That makes total sense.
Forget about it, and then one day
they end up signing up later.
Yeah,
because everyone drives for Uber at some point or another.
Yeah,
and voila, it just paid you $500 because you had some sort of association with this person.
That was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
I mean, that $500 is gone the moment that I had it because I was like, oh, this turned out to be a pretty good time because I obviously I spent $1,500 on
hookers and blow
on the car and hookers and blow, so it was like nice. I got a huge chunk of that. I recouped a huge chunk of that, fairly early after I spent that money on that stuff.
That is so funny.
Because I was just like, I'm just going to pay for this and deal with this shit later. Figure it out later.
Yeah. Did we talk about the Equifax shit that went down at all?
No. What happened with Equifax?
You're kidding me.
No,
right?
I don't know about this.
You don't know?
When did this happen?
Oh my God.
When did this happen?
You've got to be the last person on Earth, or in America, to have heard this information.
When did this happen?
This happened weeks ago. It was like a week and a half ago that this news broke. This is huge, dude. Don't start Instagramming it.
Jerry News never said anything about it.
Are you kidding me? No, dude. I guarantee you he said something about it.
All right, well, tell me. Let me look real fast.
This is a huge deal. So basically what happened was Equifax compromised... Do you know what Equifax is?
I do. Yes.
The Consumer Credit Reporting Agency.
Yeah, there's Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian.
And so they have data basically on pretty much everybody in the country.
Right.
Because they just take information without us knowing. And so they were hacked. And
no way.
142 million users' information was leaked online. And so people were saying that you need to check if you've been hacked, including you, Victor. Like, you need to check if you've been hacked. My dad was hacked. My mom wasn't.
Really? How do you check if you're hacked?
Ray was hacked. His wife was hacked.
How do you check if you're hacked?
There's a website that you go to.
All right. Was this before or after the Mayweather fight?
After.
Before or after the eclipse?
After.
Bro, I'm not seeing anything on Jerry News. I gotta DM him and let him know what's up.
That's shocking, dude. I mean, I feel like everyone, because this was 50% of the country we're a country of about 300 million.
Yeah.
142 million people were hacked, and that's probably about 60% of adults, 18 and over. So over half the country that has any credit reports were hacked.
Wow.
It was crazy that my mom wasn't. Of all the people, she's the most anti-technology in our whole family. And maybe it paid off because she wasn't hacked, and I think everyone else in my family was.
I wonder...
You were probably hacked.
I wonder what happened with their stock when that happened. Equifax data breach. All right, I'll look at that at another time.
Yeah, and check to see if you were hacked as well.
Okay.
Cause
and there's a website. I can just Google, like, Equifax data breach or how to... What?
Look under news stories. News stories will report the place to go to. Like Washington Post, New York Times, reputable news organization will provide the link. They'll say, go to here to check. That's how I always verify that it's an authentic
Interesting
link. Yeah. Wow, I can't believe that you had heard about that. Or hadn't heard about that. That's shocking, really.
I was not aware.
Because, I mean, hackers have been starting to F with people already.
Yeah.
And screw over their credit. So, I mean, it literally could be happening to you right now, and you wouldn't know it.
I'll check that out.
You probably should. But the reason why I had brought that up was just there just wasn't a lot of outrage over this. And for me, the fact that a single company, once they're hacked, has information that we did not give them, but they have information that then can be distributed to anyone, including hackers. And so now we have literally half the country, social security numbers, driver's license, income, tax forms, everything about a person's life hacked and suddenly accessible. And I feel like there's not really the rage that there should be, because that's, to me, is like pretty darn absurd. But who am I?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not, because I feel like there's that helplessness thing. Like, what can you do? But I feel like that's the case with our current president, and you see people protesting about that all the time. Like, why the hell can't people protest about Equifax, losing the most vital documents that identify human beings to hackers who are now selling it for profit?
Speaking of vital documents, one time in college, I lost my driver's license, and I used my passport to get into bars. And a few times, they'd look at it like, you got any other ID? I'm like, no, I don't have. You think if I had a state ID or driver's license, you think I would use, like, you think I'm just using this for fun? No.
Yes.
Like, you don't have any other ID? No, this is the most official document in the world. Yeah. That I am presenting to you right now.
That's so funny. Okay, because I know that.
Okay, yeah. All right, you're good. Yeah, you're damn right I'm good.
Yeah.
Gosh, idiot.
That's awesome. That's a great way to respond, because I was thinking to myself, I've known people who have had to use passports, not for any extended period of time, but they've had to try and argue with the bouncer to be like, well, it's not an ID, but it's, like you said.
And that's why you're a bouncer.
The most official document.
You don't know that this is an ID.
Yeah, exactly.
Idiot.
Yeah. But how long were you stuck with using a passport?
That was a very short amount of time. That was maybe like 2 months.
Okay.
I mean, it happened in the middle of March, my senior year of college, and I think I went like home one weekend and got my passport real quick because I'm obviously trying to go to the bars, and I just had it through the end of the school year. It's like a month and a half.
Okay. Did you ever have any fake IDs?
No, I did not.
You never had a fake ID?
I really wanted to get one. My brother had one, and then I think somehow my brother made his own, and I believe he may have made a couple for other people too. I know he definitely made his own. And I was just like, how did he do that?
I think I made my own.
You did?
Yeah.
How?
I photocopied the front of my license and printed it off in color and glued it onto a piece of playing card, and cut it to size.
And you just changed that?
I photocopied the front and the back, and then printed them out and glued them to a playing card so that it was close enough. I mean, our bars didn't really care. As long as you had something that was semi...
But you had to change the birthday.
No. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I photoshopped it.
Okay.
Yeah. It was super easy.
Yeah, no. My brother was on some, like, professional shit.
Yeah.
Like, my brothers had, like, a hologram. My brothers had, like, a hologram and everything.
What?
Like, yeah.
Should you be saying this over the air?
Who's listening?
Who's listening? Fair enough. Wow. That is nuts, man.
What's it called when so much time has passed that it doesn't matter?
Statute of limitations, yes. And I'm sure there's no evidence.
It was an ID from another country, too, so.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. How would someone come across that? That is so interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah. There were some people who I knew at Drake who made professionally fake IDs, or that looked real enough. But, yeah, I mean, they were never from the state that we were in, Iowa. They were always from somewhere else, but...
Yeah, I wanted one so bad, and I could never acquire. I didn't... My one friend used our other friend's ID, who kind of looked like him.
Yeah.
But there wasn't anyone who resembled me that I could use, or they would let me borrow it, or I could buy it from them, or I could just get my own made somehow. It kind of sucked.
Well, the only reason I ever did it, and it was like sophomore year of college, was because for our fraternity parties, we ended up renting out a bar or something like that, and so we technically we were also the bartenders, like our brothers were also the bartenders. So it didn't really matter what we had, but we had something that kind of resembled it.
We for our like our semi-formal and for other things that we did, like 2 or 3 times a year, we'd rent out this place off campus where we could just like bring our own booze, so anyone, people that are 18 and 19, 20 years old can still drink. And just like no questions were asked. You just pay them what they asked to be paid for renting the space. Don't fuck anything up, and you're good.
And did that ever end up being the case where they didn't fuck anything up?
Yeah. I think we were cool the whole time. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Such responsible fraternity kids.
Now, my apartment, on the other hand, senior year, we did a keg race.
Oh my god.
Man, we tore that place up, literally. It started with one hole in the wall. You got to ask Bill about this party. I think Bill was there for it near the end. But we did a keg race between 10 seniors and 10 sophomores. And both kegs were gone within like 2 hours. And people are punching holes in the wall. My buddy Tommy rips out a section of... I wish I had a smartphone to take pictures of this thing.
Yeah, back then. That's insane.
This party was on a Friday. It was actually homecoming weekend, 2009. We spent 6 hours, I think, on Saturday cleaning up, me and my 2 other roommates on our level. And then we spent another 8 hours on Sunday. So, I mean, that's
14 hours?
28... That's 42 hours spent cleaning between 3 people.
God.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
We had to buy a section of drywall and cut it and stick it in the wall. We had to stick it in the wall and then pull it out and then smooth it out and everything, dude. It was
was
bad.
this anticipated?
And my buddy Tommy. My buddy Tommy is a real big guy. He lifted up a boulder that was in our front lawn and dropped it in the middle of the road on State Street, right in front of where we lived, for a few minutes. I'm like, dude, you got to take that boulder off the road because there's cars driving by, dude. We don't want the police to come here. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. No one could move this boulder except for him. So he went back and he lifted it up and he put it back. He got so drunk, he would just, if you made eye contact with him, he would attack you. And when he grabbed you, dude, there's no escaping that grip. And he made eye contact with me one time, and he tried to come after me. And like, luckily there were a bunch of people, and it took like 10 or 15 people to like hold him back. He's such a big guy, and just going crazy. Yeah. And we were all drinking beer out of the keg from our mugs, our cactus mugs, which was this bar, so it's like a 32-ounce mug. He was drinking his beer out of like this 64-ounce pitcher, bro, and he's just sitting the whole time in this chair. While we're moving around talking, he's just drinking his beer sitting there. And then the keg is gone, and he gets up, and it's just like this whirlwind of chaos.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was so great.
I wonder what goes through the mind of a person like that.
I've only seen him completely shit-faced like 3 times in my entire life.
Wow.
The first time I met him at our pledge party. My first memory of him is he's grabs a Keystone Light, opens it up with his mouth, with his teeth, breaks it open with his teeth, builds it up to his mouth, pours it in his mouth, takes the can, lifts it above his head, right, while it's still pouring in his mouth, brings it back down, and he drinks maybe half the beer. The other half is just going all over the place, right? Yeah. All over his shirt, all over his face, all over his forehead and everything. Takes the can, crushes it against his head, and just throws it across the room. That's the first memory I have of him drinking. It's like, insane. Holy crap. The second time was the party that we had at our place senior year. The third time was maybe like 5 years ago at our apartment downtown Chicago. Our friends visited us, and in his apartment, he went out to a bar with our buddy Doozer, got like really tanked at this bar. They come back. We're like, where are these guys? So we go from my apartment down to their apartment, and he's just lying on the floor. And he said something like, I'm cement, or I feel like cement, or he was not moving at all. College, man. Let the good times roll.